Well, two big parades coming up in Biloxi, Neptune Saturday night, Gulf Coast on Fat Tuesday. A new parade route this year. Biloxi Police Chief John Miller right here, right now in the studio to talk about it. Good to see you, Chief, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at the route. We have a map. It goes down Main, 90 in front of Hard Rock, the parking garage, up Lemieux, Martin Luther King, Howard, and then down Porter where it disbands. And I want to ask you, I think this has been a long time coming because on the north end it was so dangerous crossing the railroad tracks, right?
Well, it was for Neptune. Yeah, Neptune had to cross the railroad tracks, and we've never been comfortable with that. We've just made it work. Neptune really worked with us to make it work, but it's, you know, just about every year we get stopped, you know, because there's a train, and then we've had cars that would, at the last minute, would pull up and get too close to the tracks, and the train has struck several cars over the years. So we wanted to do away with that.
Now let's move down to the south end. I always thought it was a little disastrous closing down Highway 90, and now you don't have to do that anymore.
Just that short distance from Main to Lemieux, about a block, is all we'll have to shut it down. There's really, we can't find any way around that. But you're right. You know, people forget that that's U.S. Highway 90. I mean, it's not just a city street; it's a U.S. highway. And it's very difficult to secure, to keep it secure. You know, it's very difficult. They can't throw to the south side. All the throws have to go to the north side. So that's eliminated.
And one thing that I think is good as an upside is you have created less ground for the Biloxi Police Department to have to cover. You've kind of created a kind of a containment zone, if you will. I hate to sound so militaristic.
Well, you're absolutely right, and that was one of the purposes was to eliminate having so many officers have to work the parade route, because there's other things going on besides the parade, away from the parade. You know, we always want to have plenty of officers out doing security around the area, and this will give us an opportunity to do that. Some of those, the same amount of people are going to work, but they'll just work in a different area.
Well, let's talk about that. In terms of personnel, I presume it's all hands on deck for the Biloxi Police Department. So we're talking about how many men and women, and then you bring in other agencies to assist.
Sure. So certainly we'll have to have a shift that's down, because they'll come in later on, and you'll have a regular shift that works all the calls other than the event itself, and then everybody else will be working the event. So you're looking at around 100 officers working the event, and then whoever we can bring in from the outside also.
Finally, what are your greatest concerns when it comes to behavior and public safety around these Mardi Gras parades?
Sure. So, you know, our instructions have always been when officers get to their post, the first thing they look for certainly is underage drinking, you know, because that always leads to a problem later on. So we try to nip that in the bud early on if we can. And then, you know, other than that, away from the parade route, you know, you've always got burglars that people are away from their cars. The cars are parked by themselves. You always have burglars that look for those things, and that's again what some of these other officers that are on the perimeter will be doing, is looking for things like that.
So the bottom line is have a happy and a safe Mardi Gras this year. Biloxi Police Chief John Miller. New parade route. Chief, thanks for coming in and telling us about it.
Thanks for having me.